right. I hit the go live button. There was a delay whenever.
Says we've been going for 12 seconds.
Yeah, I know, but for whatever reason, YouTube has a little delay. I'm going to wait till it's at 30 seconds. I mean, it'll probably pick some of this up, but we'll just do the intro in 5, 4, 3, 2. We are back. It is episode 9 of the Varsity podcast. Today is March 20th, 2023. We just are coming off a massive weekend in college sports, maybe one of the biggest of the year. NCAA tournaments, first couple of rounds for both men and women's. Women's is actually finishing up as we speak. The wrestling tournaments, women's hockey tournament, college baseball full underway. Men's hockey just had the selection show. We've got a lot going on in college sports. We're going to dive right into it. I think, obviously, it was a massive weekend for college basketball. I think that we'll save for the end because that's going to have the meat of the content. But a lot happened there for sure. All right, we'll start off with a topic we just kind of touch on in this podcast. That is wrestling, college wrestling. I don't know if you guys saw anything from the weekend, but they're saying...
I heard there was the biggest upset of the weekend, and that even includes Purdue losing.
Yeah, so they're saying that perhaps this wrestling tournament had the most upsets of any March Madness ever. Like, it was the craziest. I was going to do this for, like, the interesting college sports story of the week, but I'm just going to say it now. So Spencer Lee, 125-pound, lost. He got pinned by Matt Ramos of Purdue. So Purdue actually got the big upset. He's a 4 seed, Ramos, but they're calling it the biggest upset. It was in the semifinals because Spencer Lee was going for a 4-peat. He would have been a 4-time national champion. Somebody else actually became a 4-time this weekend, but he wasn't as dominant over the last 4 years or 5 years, I guess, as Spencer Lee was. And he went down, got pinned. It was crazy. There was that viral video of his mom breaking her glasses. It was insane. I, as you guys know, filled out the wrestling bracket, had Spencer Lee winning, as I think everyone did. But I actually went 5 out of 10 for the weight classes for champions, which there's 32 people per class. To get half the champions right, I will take, especially for not watching any wrestling. But yeah, it was a really good tournament. I watched a decent bit over the weekend just because I was a little more invested than I typically am, and there was some excitement. Couple of Cinderella runs throughout weight classes. I mean, for the most part, though, it was like the top guys or like near the top did win. But yeah, that was crazy to see this massive upset. I mean, this is a guy that's dominated his entire college career, and then it's his last match. Well, not his last match, but he lost, and then it became his last match because you have your wrestlebacks, and he left. I heard he left the entire state that the tournament was in. He just didn't show up. Now people are saying, it's like...
Are we saying sore loser?
Well, so
his mom was snapping her glasses.
I saw the mom's tantrum.
I thought it was hilarious.
So
runs right into the Iowa family.
Yeah, this is interesting though. So Spencer Lee, they're saying that like he left for mental health reasons, which I kind of get when you're that dominant and like you lose. I get it; it's tough, but he then forfeits his his wrestle back. So he could have still gotten third place. He ended up taking 6th because he forfeited his next 2. And his whole saying was excuses are for wussies. That was like his big thing all throughout his like wrestling career. And then he goes and forfeits 2 matches because he was so upset about his loss. So people are that's kind of backfiring on him a little bit because he would say that to others. So it's kind of karma. I mean, you do feel bad for him because it's tough, but like, man, he got a massive reality check there. And so did his mom, apparently, who, by the way, was like a jujitsu. I don't know. She was like she's like, so I don't know. I don't know exactly.
Perfectly nice lady. I just thought her tantrum was hilarious. Because
yeah.
I don't like Iowa.
Yeah.
Well, their football team is fine, but
yeah, their football team's very cool because they wave to the children in the children's hospital. But yeah, basketball program's not fun for sure. And so
maybe she's related to Fran McCaffrey.
Who knows?
You could see it.
They have similar behavioral traits. Okay, so that's about it for wrestling. But yeah, really good weekend for college wrestling. Yeah, 5 out of 10. I'm very happy with. Okay, then women's hockey wrapped up, and the Wisconsin Badgers, once again for the 3rd time in the last 4 tournaments, because COVID that year didn't have a tournament, so it's 3rd time in the last 5 years. But it's their 3rd in the last 4 tournaments. Our national champions. This one, they came in. They were the first ever unseeded or unranked. I think it was unseeded team to win.
They seed the top 4.
The title. That is absurd. So good for them. That was very fun. 7 championships now for Mark Johnson and company. I mean, that is
a women's hockey school.
What a run they've been on since he took over there. And that's awesome.
Sports school.
Yep.
Yeah.
Volleyball school.
Volleyball, women's hockey. Their women's basketball program's gotten a lot better the last couple of years. Their newer coach, who they hired, 2 years ago?
Marissa Mosley, I think her name.
Yeah. Turning the program around. So who knows? I mean, that's going up.
The Cavender twins will probably transfer here next year.
Well, so I heard Hannah might be done.
Oh,
but Haley wants to keep going for 1 more year, so they might be separate for a year. But
all trouble in paradise.
Well, no, it's just Hannah
is better. Not as good. Never mind.
Well, and her passion isn't there as much as it is for Haley. I saw an interview about it, but they're battling right now. They're playing as we speak. So that's a big one. But yeah, we'll get into the women's basketball. But yeah, shout out to the Badger women's hockey team. Congrats on another title. All right. Now, college baseball.
This team's a fucking joke. I'm sorry. Excuse the profanity. I'm sorry. That came out.
It's a technical foul. That's you.
Yeah.
Sorry. So Southern Miss 2-2 again. They're on a 2-game losing streak. Just lost the last 2 in the series against Texas State. I have a feeling they won't be ranked. I don't know when that comes out, but yeah, that was.
Oh, it sure won't.
That was tough. Meanwhile, I did have to look. NC State's 15-5 this year.
Of course they are.
And
the streets are talking about a varsity curse.
Yeah. Southern Miss 12-7. Well, hopefully the varsity curse gets broken because, well, I don't know.
Should have just picked LSU.
But we do have, I'm saying with basketball, we went with Alabama. They're looking good, but we'll get into that. So maybe that'll break the curse. And then after that, we'll just get on a hot streak. Yeah, but Southern Miss, man, I don't know. Hopefully they get it going. I mean, there's got to be a reason they were ranked in the top 25. So we'll see if that.
They actually weren't. When we selected, they were getting votes to be ranked in the top 25.
Well, they were ranked this last week.
What?
They were 25.
What made them move up? What did they even do?
They went 2-2 the week before. I don't know. They've gone 2-2, so they're 4-4 since we picked them. They're a 500 team. The Texas State's losses.
Texas State lost. It's tough. I get losing to Ole Miss. That's fine.
Yeah,
but let's win against these conference opponents, please.
Yeah, at least win the series. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, just plenty of season
left.
Take 2 out of 3.
Yeah, we're just not going to panic though. Okay. Anything else in college hockey men's selection?
Yeah, selection show. A lot of Minnesota people are upset about geographical bias in the
Okay.
selection show because all of the Minnesota teams are in the same regional, and there's a lot of East Coast bias in college hockey, and they split up like Quinnipiac, Boston University, Merrimack. They're all in different
Oh, okay.
kind of brackets. That's the
Gotcha.
biggest talking point in college hockey, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty fair, like talent wise in each
Okay.
region. But
Okay.
geographically, there's been some concern. But
Okay.
Alaska did not make it. Unfortunately, they were the first team out. Yep.
Man, I think they got snubbed.
Canisius won their conference tournament. And they were ranked like 41st in the pairwise rankings, so they stole a bid.
Oh,
And Colgate won their conference tournament over Harvard, who was already in the tournament, which
ooh,
also stole another bid. And Alaska was the first team
that's
out. So
tough. That is tough. They don't have like an
yep,
NIT for that, do they?
they don't.
That's
So
a
our
shame.
darling Alaska is not in,
Well, maybe
unfortunately.
we say they get snubbed and then give them a claim
Yep,
title. I don't know.
we should. That we should.
Okay. Anything else, or should we hop into some basketball, some hoops?
Ready to hop in?
All right. We are going to start with the most exciting tournament, the one that everyone cares about. We are in the Elite Eight of the NIT. Once this loads, hopefully
Michigan
it loads.
isn't correct.
No, Michigan is
That's what I
donezo, but
thought.
They
we've
were up
got
8 with 50 seconds left and lost.
Wow, that's tough.
yeah. People are calling for Doofus to get fired.
No, please keep them.
Who did they play?
Vanderbilt,
You
Yeah,
can say Vanderbilt went in there and stole a win.
they did. Well,
Mhm.
it was at Vanderbilt, though.
Well, they stole a win.
well, but when they revealed it on TV, they thought it was going to be in Michigan, so we can still argue that.
Well, yeah, well, I'm still getting annoyed because every time I get a Bleacher Report notification or CBS Sports that shows the Badgers as a 3 seed.
Yeah,
Very
I
annoying.
know it's still like a lot of places, but whatever makes it so that they're still sleeping on us. Anyway, this is what we're looking at right now. So Oklahoma State, the 1 seed, 2 wins against Youngstown State, Eastern Washington State lost. So that's just interesting, because we talk about their basketball team all the time. They got bounced right away. But yeah, close game with Oklahoma State and Youngstown State, and then they played pretty well, kind of cruised by Eastern Washington. North Texas, couple of big wins over Alcorn and Sam Houston. Sam Houston narrowly beat Santa Clara. Now the Ducks will host the Badgers tomorrow. Ducks took care of business in both their games. Badgers
Wednesday game.
whomped Bradley and then had a pretty good game with Liberty. I will say Liberty is a bunch of floppers and whiners, and I don't like them.
Give me Steven Crowell.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Crowell for the first 3 halves of this tournament was unreal. I think he was a little rattled after getting the flagrant and the tech at the end of the first half on Sunday, but I mean, he's just been a beast. It was so cool. So he got like elbowed and like pushed by the one dude right in front of the ref. The refs were so biased towards Liberty. Ref didn't call anything. So Big Steve, he was mad. He kind of retaliated, and I thought it was awesome. And then he like said something to the guy when he was on the ground. Got the tech, got the flagrant. Badgers still win the game. It was kind of awesome though. But I despise Liberty after that. Anyway, that's that quadrant.
Oregon's favored by 4.5.
I will take the Badgers. They're
Do you
playing
think Crowell's
well.
going to win the Naismith Award next year?
Yep. Yes.
Book
He's
it.
gonna be the number
Clip
one
it.
draft.
Yep, Peter, clip that.
Peter! Oh, man. We can clip that, though. I'll mark this. point, or we're like 14 minutes in?
Well, let's not post that until it happens.
Oh, yeah, no. Well, we had another clip that we didn't post
We
until
did.
it happened.
Justin.
And we'll
Shout
get
out
to
Justin.
that later.
Justin said he was going to watch, so shout out Justin.
Well, I
maybe
probably
Lucas
should have
too.
posted. I probably should have posted that we're live, but after the episode, I'll put it that we're live, or that we went live and that it's now viewable. I should probably do better at posting ahead, but whatever. Anyway, Rutgers went down, which was kind of funny, just because they absolutely
were supposed to be in the main tournament. And,
yeah, they
ended
definitely
up
got
losing in
snubbed.
the
Their
NIT.
fans were not
Mhm.
happy, and then they lost to Hofstra. That's tough. That's a tough break.
That's a real.
And then Cincinnati cruised by Virginia Tech and Hofstra. They're in the Elite Eight. They're playing Utah Valley.
What a run!
New Mexico and Colorado, both pretty handedly, 83-69, then 81-69. So that'll be fun. I mean, I didn't know Utah Valley even was school, honestly. Because I think we might have picked that, too, because we thought, wow, that's cool.
No, we picked Colorado because of Dion, didn't we?
Oh, we might have. But I know we picked them over New Mexico because we're like, they're not even going to know where Utah Valley is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even though it was in New Mexico. But yeah, good for them.
Yeah.
Morehead State, pretty sure we had that. They beat Clemson.
We had to have.
I think we did because they're Morehead State.
Of course.
So another 1 seed went down there. UAB, I know we picked against.
Because Southern
Miss.
Yeah, got to put on for a university.
But yeah, UAB cruised through both those games. They'll be playing Vanderbilt, who took down Yale and then squeaked past Michigan. They are done. I saw some very funny tweets following Michigan's loss, some that I will not repeat. I did not make them, but I will not repeat them.
They were probably off my burner, to be honest. I'm kidding.
No, but seriously, they were.
Probably share the same sentiment.
Yeah, they would have, for sure. I saw some funny stuff about where Hunter Dickinson is going to play next year and what he needs to learn.
He might come back. He's got another year.
Yeah, I know, but they said, well, they told him to get ready to learn something, and I'm sure you know the memes. But anyway, that's been the NIT so far. We got the Elite Eight coming up starting tomorrow. Should be fun. Hopefully Wisconsin can make it to the Final Four and eventually win the NIT. That would be kind of fun. But they are playing well, so good for them. I think build this momentum. It seems like they're playing for each other right now, which I like. Yeah, so that's good. Now let's take a look at the women's bracket. Just a moment. We got a few games live right now. I don't know.
Miami's still up 10, Jim. 28-18.
That is
left in the second
massive. That would be a massive upset, and we had it in our bracket. So
that we did.
Feeling fantastic. I'll actually say, interestingly enough, so their first game. Actually, let's just break down the bracket quick. South Carolina, we know they're dominant. Boom, boom, couple of dominant wins. This is our varsity podcast right now that I'm looking at. We got Marquette wrong in a narrow loss. Oklahoma cruised by Portland. UCLA cruised by Sacramento State. We had Creighton. They actually got upset. Notre Dame we hit. Then Notre Dame won again. Arizona we hit. Maryland we hit. Maryland we hit again. So, I mean, right now, this game is tonight, Oklahoma, UCLA. We're 3 for 3 in that region. So go us. Over here, Stanford wins and then got upset by Ole Miss. Yes. Was that yesterday? Thought it was yesterday.
Stanford goes down.
Wow. Yeah, that was pretty crazy because it was like the first time they missed the Sweet 16 in years. By the way, Louisville barely got by Drake. They're playing Texas right now. They were 6.5-point dogs. You see that score? Looking pretty good for our bracket. And of course, we have them in the Final Four, and they'd be playing Ole Miss in the Sweet 16. So don't sleep on our bracket, folks. It's looking mighty good right now. Colorado won that. We didn't quite get the upset. Duke won. That was MTSU we did have as a sleeper team. So this corner of the bracket's kind of shot. Florida State lost to Georgia. Of course, Iowa taking care of business right now. That'll be a good game between them and Louisville. I'm just going to say it right now. Hopefully I'm not jinxing anything. I probably am, whatever. So this is live right now. If you remember, we have Miami in the Final Four. They lead 1 seed Indiana by 10. Look at all this green. Unfortunately, Florida Gulf Coast, which, by the way, great 12-5 pick by us. Looks like they're not going to quite make it to the Sweet 16, but still nice run by them. Of course, we couldn't pick Michigan to win in the first one.
Couldn't do it.
But we got to see them get smoked by LSU, so that's fun. We hit the rest of this. Princeton, we knew they would win this weekend. We just didn't know it would be their men's and women's. Nice little upset win over NC State, and Utah win, so we hit that pretty well over there. And then Virginia Tech, Tennessee. Tennessee smoked Toledo today. So they have momentum heading into their Virginia Tech matchup. I'm feeling good about that. And then UConn dominated Vermont. They played Baylor tonight. We had St. John's here as an 11 seed. They narrowly lost to North Carolina, who narrowly lost to Ohio State. I mean, our women's bracket's looking pretty good, especially with the current scores. I feel like, look at this. Hopefully that result holds. I don't know. Oh, wow. Hannah Cavenger just hit a 3. Would you look at that? Wow. There's her 3 points for the game. That's not a diss. That's what she averages. But yeah, good stuff. 31-22. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the podcast. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. That's the women's tournament. And anything else you guys want to talk about before we hit the men's tournament?
No, I'm good to go.
All right, sweet. So crazy opening weekend, I would say. We saw a 16 seed win, a 15 seed win, a 13 seed win. You know what we didn't see?
A 14 seed?
5.
Oh.
12-5. Didn't pick one this year.
No, you did not. You even told me, I think it was the morning of, you're like, I'm not feeling good about any of these 12-5s. Mm-hmm. And you hit that on. That's crazy, like that we didn't have one, especially considering all the upsets we had. So props to Adam for calling that there wouldn't be a 12-5. I mean, yeah, just a wild weekend. So should we talk about the big, I would say, 3 upsets? And that was obviously FDU over Purdue, Princeton over Arizona, and then Furman over Virginia. Thank you. Which they should not have won. I just want that on record.
Shout out Furman. I picked it.
Did you?
I did. Congrats. Maybe not in the varsity pool, but I picked it.
All right, so I'm gonna pull up the varsity bracket just so we can kind of look at it. Okay, so we'll just start top corner. Bama looks like how we thought they would look. They are a wagon. This team is so complete. They're one of the deepest teams in the tournament. Their whole thing was they were a 3-point shooting team, but this year now they can score in other ways. And it's just, I mean, they have probably one of the best players in the tournament. One of the deepest teams, like I said. I mean, this team is so good. So that pick's looking good so far. They just dominated their little quadrant or whatever you call that, their little group through the first 2 rounds. So they'll be taking on San Diego State. San Diego State took down Charleston. That was a popular 12-5 pick. We didn't take it. We didn't fall for that. And then they crushed Furman, who squeaked by Virginia. I mean, that Furman-Virginia game was pretty crazy. Virginia looked like they had it. They were up, 4 with under 20 seconds left. And then Furman goes and scores, makes it a 2-point game, and then you get trapped in the corner. What do you do if you're a basketball player?
Take the foul.
You take a foul.
Timeout.
You call a timeout? Do you try to pass it to somebody near you? No.
Chuck it to half court.
A Hail Mary without looking. And, you get picked off. They pass it. They drain the 3. And you lose by 1. That's what happened. And so Furman has some March magic there before ultimately losing to San Diego State. But, that was a tough look. It looked like Virginia was going to be the most embarrassed team of the tournament, but that very quickly changed. We'll talk right now about that. Princeton takes down Arizona, another 15 seed this year, beating a 2, and a 2 that a lot of people thought was a good 2 seed. They just came off beating UCLA in their conference title game. And, Princeton kind of came out of nowhere. Then they go beat Missouri pretty handedly. Now they'll face Creighton, who is looking really good. I think this is probably where their road ends, but you never know. Shout out Princeton, man. Anything in this region that you guys want to touch on?
Well, Creighton looks really good, and it's going to be quite the matchup if it's Alabama-Creighton in the Elite Eight.
Which, by the way, look at here. We had that. Shout out to us again. That's a good pick. And so, okay, now I'll just say, so we thought then after Arizona got upset that was going to be the upset of the tournament. And then down goes Purdue, the 1 seed, losing to the 16 seed, Fairleigh Dickinson, otherwise known as Fairly Ridiculous by some. But that was a team that had a first 4 game. They also got in because the team that won their conference tournament was ineligible because it was the same deal that we saw last year. But they took full advantage. They're the smallest team in the country. And they had the easiest schedule in the country. And they beat a 1 seed with the biggest big dude in the country. So it's just kind of funny how that works. Then they battled with FAU, who had squeaked by Memphis and some questionable calls late. That was just a wild ride in all 3 of those games, really, in that little spot in the East. You guys got anything about that? Thoughts on Purdue?
Well, I had them losing in the second round. So, in my own bracket, we had them losing in the second round too.
Yeah,
so
we to Memphis.
I didn't think they were going to go very far to begin with. I would have never guessed them to lose against Fairleigh Dickinson. I had Zach Edey in that game as a part of a Flex Friday for prize picks. No free ads, but
did he hit?
He did, over 12 rebounds. Okay. But I had Braden Smith. I went 5 for 6. Had Braden Smith.
2x there, but that's
the Purdue guard to have under 5 assists or 4.5 assists, and he had 6. But he didn't even play a good game. Like he had almost 8. He had at least 7 turnovers.
Jeez.
Like they should have just pulled him. I probably would have hit. Probably could have gave Matt Painter some money for my winnings or something.
Oh man, I think he's doing just fine financially, even if he.
I saw someone say he should be fired today.
Well, yeah, I mean, even if he does lose his job, though.
That's true.
Still, yeah, I mean, they had that Elite 8 run and a Sweet 16 run, but they've lost to like a 13 seed last year. They did lose to St. Peter's in the Sweet 16, so it's like they've had some bad tournament losses, but they are a very good team.
Like the guard play wasn't good enough, and if you're not going to be able to make your threes when you get triple team Zach Edey,
right? Yeah, I mean that was tough. They have to be better. Kind of let the Big Ten down there, but
yeah, kind of
it was a down year for the Big Ten. What? It's not over. It's not over, and we'll get to that shortly. Duke.
This was
crushes Oral Roberts. That was a semi-popular 12-5. I know a lot of people either like Duke or they had him getting upset in the first round. Yeah. Oral Roberts, man, got blown out. And then Tennessee squeaks by Louisiana. Isn't this always the story? A team that always squeaks by in the first round, and then they beat a team that had a big win in the first round. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. So yeah, now it's setting up an FAU Tennessee game. I would never have guessed, but Tennessee's looking good.
Tennessee
finally
looked good in that Duke game.
Well, that one guy tried to dunk at the end of the game. Signed me up for Tennessee now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people said. I saw something that said FAU went from being like one of those Cinderella teams that everyone would have rooted for to like the most hated team in America, just like that. And yeah, shout out to Tennessee. They had struggled to get it done in the tournament the last couple of years. Like they always would have high expectations, it felt like. But they're finally putting together a nice little run. So
they didn't do me good in the SEC tournament.
I know. And it's like last year, I think we all had them in the Final Four, and then they lost immediately. I swear, it's when you don't pick these teams, they do well. And speaking of not picking teams, Kentucky, who I said, if I don't pick them, they'll go to the Final Four. So I chose to pick them to go to the Final Four. They lost to Kansas State. They played well. Kansas State has surprised me how good that team really can be. And they had no expectations really at the beginning of the year, which is why I kind of picked against them in the tournament. I was like, yeah, they played well, but I thought they would stumble in the tournament because a lot of times teams that exceed their regular season expectations stumble in the tournament. Obviously not the case for Kansas State. They looked awesome yesterday, so they're moving on. And they face Michigan State, a bracket buster. It was the Joey Hauser revenge game, if you would even consider it that, even though he left them. Yeah, Michigan State staying alive. Tom Izzo continues to be a force in March. We had Marquette in our Final Four in this bracket.
Well, I didn't get to see. Well, I saw most of the Michigan State. I was kind of flipping back and forth between the hockey game and the basketball game. So I
mean, priorities. We won a national title yesterday. People forget.
Marquette didn't take the best shots. I didn't think. And then Kolek was in some foul trouble, and he didn't play his best game. And I think they kind of run on him. If he's having a good game, they're going to win. If he's having an off night, then
kind of a tough tournament for him, honestly.
And then the big guy from Michigan State, Sissoko, he played really well and disrupted the inside. Like Marquette doesn't really have an enforcer.
Right, that's what I was going to say. That was kind of the whole thing with Marquette is they struggle against like good big man. If a big man's playing well against them, they're in a lot of trouble, and we saw that there.
Yeah.
kind of a side story with Kansas State.
Excuse me, Michigan State. Shout out Justin. Sure.
Yeah. We should definitely give him. I'm rooting for them at least to make the Final Four out of that region.
I mean, they did it as a 7 seed before.
Yeah.
I mean,
very true.
And in case people didn't see it, I mean, Justin kind of predicted Purdue losing a year ago.
I was going to talk about that in a little bit, but yeah.
Okay.
Should we talk about it now?
Might as well.
I mean, we might as well. He's listening.
I mean, I feel like everyone's probably seen it on our socials. I put it out on like everything. 1.7K views on YouTube, decent amount of likes on TikTok, threw it on Reels. But Justin, last year when he was our guest, we made bold predictions, all of which were pretty good. And then we had talked about it a week or two ago about the possibility of this happening. And then it happened. So good for him, man. Calling that a 16 seed would, in fact, beat a 1 seed this year. I don't know how he pulled that one out, but he did. And, good for him. And big weekend for him with Michigan State also advancing to the Sweet 16. I want to touch back on one thing with the Kansas State and Michigan State. Kind of just, I think maybe the coolest storyline of this entire tournament is Keontae Johnson on Kansas State, who is the dude that was on Florida for the last few years, and then had like that scary, I think he basically collapsed. And people didn't think he was going to play again, but he was cleared. He couldn't play at Florida, I guess, because the incident happened while he was there, and I think just kind of like they wouldn't clear him just because they were afraid of if it happened again, like they'd be responsible. Transferred to Kansas State, hit a really big 3, kind of the dagger over Kentucky. But good for him. I mean, that's awesome to see him making a huge impact in the NCAA tournament. So shout out Keontae Johnson. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Anything else from the East, though, guys?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, and again, that quadrant's kind of shot for us. I don't think we don't have anything left in that quadrant, but we're doing good elsewhere, so it happens. Okay. Houston beats Northern Kentucky. It was like a whatever game. And then their game with Auburn was pretty exciting. Auburn took a 10-point lead into half, and then we saw why Houston was for much of the year the number 1 overall team, and why they're 1 seed. They just dominated that second half. And Auburn had looked pretty good against Iowa. But yeah, they are marching with momentum onto the Sweet 16. They looked really good in that second half. What did they score, like 50 points?
It was a lot.
Yeah, so, I mean, shout out Houston. Then Miami squeaks by Drake. And then Indiana had looked pretty good against Kent State. Those two go head-to-head. I was kind of feeling good about Indiana coming into the game, and Miami just seemed like they were the better team. Now they'll be playing Houston. You guys got anything on that? I feel like Houston's better, but
yeah, I'm picking Houston because
I've been picking against Miami a lot.
You did say that, I believe.
So.
You or B maybe mentioned
that was me. Every time I pick against Miami, they make the Sweet 16, so I predicted them to make the Sweet 16 this year. So they've gotten me a few extra points in the pools.
Well done. Well done. I picked them to lose.
Their run is probably going to end, though, against Houston. They look pretty
Justin's in the comment section, by the way.
Oh boy. Heck yeah.
He said he served Sissoko at Noodles once.
How do I even pull up?
Do you see it? If you're doing it on your phone, it shows private chat and then comments.
Oh, sick. Heck yeah. Thanks for tuning in, Justin. That is awesome. I didn't even know it did that we could do that. Awesome.
Thanks, Justin.
Shout out, Justin. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It says we have one viewer. That is pretty neat. Okay. Now moving on. Pitt, which we had. I don't think at the time we knew. Yeah, we didn't know. And I think, honestly, I think we kind of were leaning Mississippi State. But they took down Iowa State. But we kind of felt either way Iowa State might lose just because their offense is horrendous.
That was the ugliest performance of the first round.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
I was on my way home, going to watch some games, and I got like a notification. It was like 22-4 or something like that. And
it was 22-2 to start the game.
Yeah. Kind of funny, honestly. I mean, they took out the Badgers last year, so all I can do is laugh. And their fans have been brutal the last year. They like go in on the Badgers every chance they can, which I don't understand, but whatever. I think they think that's a rivalry that's just not there. And then Xavier looked pretty good against Pitt. They're in the Sweet 16.
Had a scare in the first round.
Yeah, they did. Kennesaw State battled them tough. And again, it's like that whole thing with like first round, you kind of limp by and then you pick it up in the next round. And that's what Xavier did. Now they have Texas, who Texas has looked good. Colgate's been a stingy team in the past. Didn't seem like an issue. Penn State has been playing out of their mind. They were able to get the win there. That actually was a really good game. Penn State took the lead at one point pretty late in the second half, but Texas was able to end up picking up the win, 5-point game when it was all said and done. But that was a fun one. I was kind of – it would have been cool to see Penn State just, again, Big Ten. And the Badgers beat them twice, so it would have been another thing. Like, especially if they made another run and then the Badgers win the NIT, then we could have brought the question, would the Badgers have won the NCAA tournament? But that's for a later date. We could save that. But, yeah. Anyway, yeah, Xavier, Texas should be a really good game, I think. Anything else from the Midwest?
No, it should be a good – whoever comes out of it will be a good Elite Eight matchup.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, not really any underdogs there. I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, and 5. So it's interesting because the other regions are not like that at all because of Arkansas. They're the 8th seed here in the West, and they took down Kansas. That game was a thriller. 72-71. Jayhawks will not repeat. It's tough to repeat in college sports, especially basketball, because you have to win 6 games in a row. And Kansas couldn't do it. Arkansas is so good in March. I mean, I think that kind of gets overlooked every year because a lot of years they don't come in as like this like super low seed, but they are a tough out in March. Took down Illinois. Then that game was crazy good with Kansas. And, yeah, they're in the Sweet 16. They'll face UConn, who was in a little trouble against Iona in the first half, but then kicked it up in the second half. They're such a good second-half team. Then we're able to get by St. Mary's 15-point win, and that was actually a wider margin for a lot of that game. Yeah, I don't know. We had VCU over St. Mary's in this bracket. Obviously, that didn't happen. St. Mary's a little bit better than I think at least I gave them credit for. I mean, they looked good early in the year, struggled as of late a little bit, but ultimately a decent season for them. UConn's a tough team. You guys got anything from
Adama Sanogo took over in the second half of that Iona game. Yeah. Shout out to Adam's prize pick. Yep, this is where Adam takes over. Yep.
I had middle of the day Friday, and I was like, I need to get a bet down here. And it's March, so
yeah,
you can only bet on one thing in March.
this is true.
And I was looking at the lines. I had started to do it, looking at like halftime. And Adama Sanogo's second half points was 7.5. And I was like, let's hit the over. And on this day, I was not going to put too much thought into my bet because when I do that, it doesn't go well.
Sure.
So I was like, we're going to look at something that looks good, looks interesting. I wanted something that I could watch and have satisfaction right away, and that was it. Well, he had 8 points in like the first 4 minutes of the second half.
Jeez.
Finished the second half with 22 points.
Wow.
It was good.
Yeah, that's got to feel good. I've been on a cold streak basically since the Big Ten tournament. It's been brutal for me. So
ever since we bet on Jelly Walker, he has not hit 20 points.
Yeah, he's been struggling.
But they've won every game since.
I know. It's interesting how that works. But
Miami's up by 12 at halftime.
Nice. Okay, that's good to
Texas just won by like 20-something. Or Louisville, excuse me.
Oh, gosh. I was like, how did that? Okay, nice. I'll be curious to look at the box score later for that. But, yeah. Okay, cool. And then...
But Beav is correct. Sanogo did take over that second half. And
yeah.
They couldn't stop him.
UConn looks really good right now.
Yeah, they do.
Really good.
Arkansas, I'm not going to sleep on Arkansas, but UConn definitely looks like a team that could go a ways in this tournament. So we'll see. I did feel like they were kind of underseeded as a 4. I thought they should have been a 3 just based on watching them play. Like they look better than a 4 seed. So should be interesting because they have, no matter who they play, it's going to be tough. We'll talk about that now. Gonzaga, UCLA. So Gonzaga wins over TCU by 3, but this was maybe one of the craziest backdoor covers you'll ever see. I don't know if you guys
saw this. Clip. There was like less than a second left, and TCU chucked up that 3-pointer.
So they were dribbling it out.
Yeah.
The coaches were walking to do the handshake. They told him, don't shoot, don't shoot. He shoots with like a half second left. He gets the shot off. And they don't even show it on the camera. They just cut to the coaches. And then all of a sudden you see the score change. And that was for the cover. So Gonzaga won by 3 instead of 6. Tough break if you were a Gonzaga better. That's a bad beat for you. If you're TCU better, you are feeling good about yourself because that was the last game of the entire round. So it's like momentum for you heading into the Sweet 16. And anyway, yeah, Gonzaga is going to be playing UCLA. Both those games were close. Oh, wait a second. Now I'm trying to remember. Was it Texas that had or Penn State that had a late lead on Texas, or was it Northwestern that had a late lead on UCLA?
I think Northwestern and UCLA were going back and forth.
Okay, it might have been that. Now I think I'm getting my games confused. Big Ten versus a 2 seed. Anyway, yeah, that was a really good game. That was the one I think I was thinking of earlier because that was the one I was at Buffalo Wild Wings for. Anyway, yeah, we'll see. UCLA, pretty good team. I think them and Gonzaga are going to have a dog fight. And, of course, winner will play UConn or Arkansas. Again, I'm not gonna sleep on Arkansas too much. Anything? Our 3 of the Final 4 for our podcast bracket's still there. Like, you guys got anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Not really.
Okay, we're gonna look then at this is our group. Lucas won it last year, tied for first right now in the pool, but not a lot left with his champion out. My grandma was like the best bracket in the country.
Shout out Grandma picking Princeton
for like the entire first round, but that's not looking good anymore. Yeah, she has Princeton in the Elite Eight. I mean, that's absurd.
She called it.
Yeah. So, Beeve, you and my dad are looking like you guys have maybe the best chance. Particularly you have the most points left. Well, I guess there are other brackets with a little bit more left, but considering that you are in the lead right now, in the lead of teams with a
still quite confident in my Alabama champion
Alabama's
pick.
good.
I'm feeling pretty confident with that. I forgot who my Final Four was in this pool. Let me take a look quick.
I can pull it up. I got it here. You got Bama.
I know I had Duke.
Texas, and Gonzaga, though. So, chance of that. We'll see.
Not thrilled with that, but
it's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah, okay. So you have Bama over Gonzaga, which means I have no chance at winning this pool because that's who I have, and I'm lagging behind.
I don't know who it is, but the late scramble upset, whoever that is, I like the looks of their bracket a little more.
Yeah, you want to know something?
What's
that was me at about midnight Wednesday. I'm like, I'm gonna make a bracket of all these stuff that I'm on the fence about that I'm not putting in my bracket. I'm not going to put any money on it. I just literally put it in this group. And it's got all four of the freaking Final Four.
Yeah.
Houston, UCLA, Michigan State, and Alabama. I love this Final Four right now. And I hate that I didn't submit this bracket anywhere but this. Yeah, I mean, what the heck? It's so stupid. Michigan State, too. Like, I knew it. I knew it. I felt it, and I didn't put it in my actual bracket, but whatever. User error by me, I guess. So that bracket's looking decent. Adam, you're right there. You got a lot of points left in play.
A lot of UConns there.
Final Four teams, so.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, pretty good. Justin, if you're watching, I mean, UConn, we just talked about, they're looking good. If they make a run, you're probably winning this pool. My bracket sucks. I did an auto-generated one, like where I just literally clicked it.
That was at the
I was
top,
trying to get as many
all
brackets in our pool as possible. And, that one's actually looking okay, interestingly enough.
That was doing well all week, I will say.
Yeah, and I clicked, and I didn't do anything but have ESPN generate one. Last place is Nikki, so he will not probably be on the pod. I asked him to fill one out and didn't hear anything back. Texted him morning of, and I looked at 11 because the first game was at 11:10. Looked at 11, nothing, and then I looked back at like 11:15, and I see him in there. I was like, nice. Very last second, he got it in. But I don't know, man. I don't know when this comment came in. 8:13. Oh yeah, so Justin just said UConn had him nervous in the first half against St. Mary's. They're a second half team though, Justin. You just gotta
believe in Sonogo.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you really do, especially if your pocket's on it. But yeah, I think actually pretty decent brackets all around in our group. Shout out Zan, but Kansas went down. Not looking so great for him. His max 660. Actually, the lowest max is currently in third, and that's Luke 610. I don't know if he can get like anything. Wow, that's crazy. He's at 410 in third, but he can only get 610. That's wild. That is pretty crazy. Okay. Enough of that. Those are our brackets. We'll get back to Bee's gone. Oh, I think I got it.
We're still here.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Got it. Scoring update on our draft that we did last week.
Indiana's within 7.
Tried to create a second bracket for this challenge, but submitted it to the wrong thing, and it's popping off. I think I might be able to edit it, Justin, so you can add an additional entry. Yeah, it says before the round of 64. Oh, I might be able to change that. Edit group settings. Justin, I'm going to try to make it so you can add a bracket. Yeah, I'm going to unlock the group. So if you want to, Justin, you could pop that in the pool right now, and then I'll relock it. So let me know if you get that in. But yeah, that's that. Okay, let's talk about the tournament draft. Oh, we have a second viewer. That's pretty crazy. Not used to that. Okay, you guys want to talk about the draft we did last week?
Gotta be Lucas.
Yeah, but Indiana's on a 9-2 run to start the third quarter.
You didn't have to tell me.
Not good.
Well, I was just giving you said
no, I know. I appreciate that. I'm just sad. Okay, yeah. So last week we did that draft. Beav, I don't know if you saw.
I'm tied with the field.
You're tied with the field, and you have 2 of the 16 teams left. So
yeah, I'm toast.
Yeah, but I want to say we did a great job of leaving the 2 teams that got upset, the 1s and 2s that got upset. Mm-hmm. Those were the field. So shout out to us. We left them Arizona and we left them Purdue.
Yeah, way to go, Kansas.
They didn't get any points from the 1 and 2 seeds, which is crazy. Adam, I think you and I are gonna have Justin got it. All right, sweet. I'm gonna close that. We'll see where Justin's new bracket falls in the
probably hacked, to be honest.
Group. It's got to be this ESPN one that's he's got Michigan State winning. Yeah, he is now in third. Sole possession is third, 94 percentile.
Of course he does. See, this guy.
So nice pick there. But yeah, Adam and I think are gonna be in a grinder here for the tournament draft. I mean, we both have 5 pretty good teams left.
Looking like, yeah. Well, I don't know. I think I like every one of yours, except I probably like Creighton better than San Diego State, and maybe Michigan State better than Kansas. But I'd take Bama over Houston. I'd take Texas UCLA is maybe a toss-up.
I think that's a toss-up, and also Bama's looking good, but I mean, there's a very good chance that the championship is Houston versus Bama at this point. So we'll see. But
just admitted to hacking, by the way.
Clip it, Peter. Clip it. Maybe Peter's the second viewer. Even though I don't think he knows this podcast exists. He might be clipping it. If you are in, feel free to. He's got walls. If you are in here, feel free to comment. This is awesome. We haven't had a live chatter ever. And
he admit the steroid usage now?
Anyway, yeah, so that's a little update on the tournament draft. Now we're going to fill out a Sweet 16 second chance bracket. And Beav lost connection again. I think his connection's been bad. I don't know what it is, man.
His Wi-Fi stinks.
Yeah, it's got to be his Wi-Fi. Nothing else. All right.
It always
Justin's on the
Sorry, I have to keep connecting to my personal
no
hotspot.
worries,
It keeps
brother.
taking in and out.
Oh, no Justin just submitted to PEDs as well.
All right, we're filling out a second chance.
Flip it. Unbelievable.
All right, gentlemen. Alabama, San Diego State.
We got to stick with Alabama, Creighton, because those are our original picks.
And we're still going Bama?
Yep.
I like that.
Stick with our original pick there.
I think we kind of alluded to Tennessee winning here.
Yep, Tennessee looks good.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Man, this is a good game right here.
This is a great game. Do we have a live viewer that
Tennessee looked so good against Duke, though.
They did. I don't know if one of our live chatters has any input on this game.
We have an alumnus of Michigan State here.
We'll
do we ask the wheel?
We could. We're gonna ask the wheel. forget our live chatter unless he comments something in the next second. But actually, I feel like we asked the wheel on something else. I think we give it to our live chatters if they say anything. I think there's probably going to be another moment where we ask the wheel. Maybe like a Gonzaga, UCLA, or a Xavier, Texas. I don't know. So we'll hold off on that one.
Justin just said big AJ Horn. Oh my, Justin, you knew he ruined my prize pick on Friday, and you did that to instigate.
All right, we'll give it to Michigan State. We have a Michigan State alum in the chat. We can't not pick Michigan
They're
State.
toast against Bama, though.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, Houston, Miami. Houston.
I'm leaning Houston here.
Xavier, Texas could be a good game. You guys got it.
I'd have to go Texas.
Okay.
I would go Texas as well.
I think that's probably a safe pick. Houston, Texas here.
That one's a toss-up for me. Maybe the wheel for that one.
Yeah.
Okay. I hate that Houston's going to have a home Final Four if they make it. I hate that.
And I think that's either way,
like
Texas.
like
either way,
Super Bowls
how far is
Austin?
Austin's not far from Houston either. Either way, either of them would pretty much have a home game.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, we'll save the wheel for that. Arkansas, UConn. I think
I have UConn here.
Yeah,
I think they look really good. Well,
Gonzaga, UCLA. This is a toss-up for me. I have Zaga.
Personally, I'd go UCLA.
Okay, Adam. I'm good with the wheel. I'm good with doing either.
No, we can only use the wheel once. We can only use the wheel once.
Okay.
Who's the guy that went down for UCLA the other day?
Well, he rolled his ankle. He walked off on his own power though, so I think he's going to be okay. But he was in their starting rotation. I'm pretty sure.
Where's this game being played? Do you know?
It is in Vegas. They're both West Coast teams. I'm sure they'll both travel pretty well there. I almost like Gonzaga a little.
I don't want to get one step ahead of myself, but I feel like whoever wins this, I'm still picking UConn either way.
I'll go Zaga.
I'm fine with Gonzaga here.
Okay,
but I think UConn gets
Gonzaga here as well. And then Beeve, you said UConn.
UConn's my vote here.
You okay with UConn?
Yeah.
All right, I like that. Okay, we'll toss the wheel up now. I gotta just get it set up.
Justin put Jaime Jaquez in the chat. That's not who got injured, Justin. Is that what you're referring to?
Indiana's on an 11.
What the heck?
What?
The wheel was already set to Houston and Texas because last episode, that was the last thing we did.
No.
Yeah, that's creepy. I pulled it up. I was going to type it in. I was like, wait, it's already got it. Did it
look at it still being a toss-up.
Because I typed in Houston, then I typed in Texas, and I made the joke, Houston, Texas. That's kind of crazy. Okay, we'll switch over to the wheel. I guess it's a redemption. I think we had Texas winning the wheel before. We'll see if it wins again, or we'll see if the wheel changed its mind. The wheel changes its mind. Hey, that's why they call this the second chance bracket. I love the applause. I love when it does that. Okay.
Like what they saw from Houston the second half of that last game.
Yeah. The wheel watches college basketball.
The wheel like that finish.
All right, so we'll pop this. Okay, Houston, UConn. Ooh.
Good God, that's a tough game.
I almost lean Houston, honestly.
I do too.
I would as well.
That'll be at home.
Okay. Bama, Houston.
We picked Bama in our last bracket, right?
I'm rolling with the tie.
We stick with it for now. We have to.
Adam, you okay? I think this should be unanimous. But
yep.
You good with that?
I got Bama.
Yep.
All right. Fantastic. Total points scored in the national championship game. This Alabama scores a lot. I almost think this is close to 160 or in that range.
169?
That's a lot of points.
Yeah, that's just too much. We can't do that. That's
Are we
too
sure?
much. Yeah, that's too much.
Okay.
It's like an 85-84 game. Can't do that.
Could happen.
Please tell me my math was right on that. That could be bad luck.
Yeah. It was.
Oh, thank
Spot
you.
on. Spot on, dude. Could be 86-83. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities with that score. 89 to 80. But all right, what are we going with? Do we think it'll go over 160?
I got it in the 150s.
Okay.
Upper 150s.
158 maybe?
Sure. Sounds good to me.
All right, that's our second chance bracket. I like that our champion remains the same. That feels good. That feels good.
I feel like you can if your original champion's in it, it feels weird to go pick against them.
It's just I'm not used to that because Kentucky last year.
Yeah.
I don't even know who I had the year before.
That was a COVID year. That was the year where Baylor was really good. Baylor was really good. Yep.
And I know
UCLA was in that Final Four.
UCLA had their Cinderella run. Who did I have that year? Let me look at a bracket quick. 2021 and
I think that's where I fell for it and just picked against it.
Oh, I had Illinois. I don't want to talk about it. I had Illinois. All right.
Oh, yeah. That was the year of the Illinois Fighting Illini.
Yep. I had Illinois. I didn't even have to look at it. I realized it right after I started typing. So it's been a while since
I think I probably had Illinois then, too.
Yeah, good chance of it. But yeah, it's been a couple of years since I had a second weekend champion. So,
me too.
Beav, your Wi-Fi doing all right?
We're back.
Is it about to go down again? Oh man. All right. So that
was quick.
That's it. So should we go to our news stories of the week?
Oh yes.
All right. I mentioned the Spencer Lee thing earlier. I do have actually another story, and my other thing, which we talked about, was the Badgers women hockey. But I have another one yet. But who wants to go?
I'll go. So this happened right after we recorded last episode. Okay. So there was in D3, it was God, who are they playing? Denison and Arcadia. They played a 24-hour, 48-run D3 baseball game.
Holy.
Yeah. Nice. So the game was postponed after 6 hours with a score of 23-23 in the top of the 8th inning before resuming the next day.
Wow.
So it started March 13th at 11 a.m. and it ended March 14th at 11:10 a.m. Denison won 25-23. The teams combined for 11 total home runs and 14 pitchers.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So how long was the break then?
I don't know. I think it based on what I'm reading, they just decided to go home and just continue the game the next day.
And
that was postponed after 6 hours, so they played at 11 o'clock, canceled the game around 5 o'clock, said we'll just finish
9, no extra innings on that?
It went 10, ended up going 10.
Wow. That's wild.
Mm-hmm. Shout out D3 baseball.
They're tired after 23-23.
They're probably hungry, yeah.
Yeah. Beav, the audience just wants to know what your ping's at.
It's in the hundreds.
In the hundreds, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is fascinating. Adam, do you want to go now? Or
kind of looking for a new one because I was going to talk about the lady snapping her glasses.
Oh, okay. I'm going to then go ahead and piggyback off Beav. I had another college baseball one. This was, I believe, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday night. Or day, I don't know. University of San Diego and Pacific. It was a 8-6 ball game in the 8th.
Oh my God.
Pacific had the lead, and San Diego went and scored 10 runs in the 8th inning. You want to know what they didn't do that inning?
Get a ball out of the infield?
Hit the ball out of the infield. They scored 10 runs without hitting the ball out of the infield. They bunted like 4 or 5 times, and the first 3 plays were all identical. They bunted between the first and the second baseman, and every time the first 2 there was a throwing error on both, and then the third time he just beat it out. And there were some wild pitches in there, some walks, a lot of bunts, some like bad fielders' decisions that they would throw at home, and then the guy would beat them at home. And I mean, it was a disaster. So yeah, San Diego ends up winning 16-9 over Pacific after a 10-run eighth inning where they did not hit the ball out of the infield, which is incredible and horrible at the same time for Pacific, who I think ended up winning on Sunday. And that's pretty wild. I also had another story that I was just going to say, and we ended up talking about it. So I had like 4 stories, no big deal. That Justin's prediction hit, and just so happens he happens to be watching live. But yeah, that was still unbelievable that he called the 16/1 a year before it happened. Because that's not like something that just happens all the time. I mean, it's happened once before, so pretty impressive stuff. Adam, you got anything, or if not, no big deal?
Well, there's that statistic that like the tournament costs companies or the economy so much money every year because people like take off of work and all that. I don't remember the exact number. I saw it on Twitter somewhere.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's, it's interesting because I ended up, I'm not gonna say names, but there's a person that you and I know, Adam, that was trying to get us in the bracket challenge. Beef you've heard stories of. I'll just say it that. I ended up Thursday, I was like, I'll join. And then I got put in the group chat for it. And I tell you, I don't think a single person in that pool works. They were every single game chatting like crazy. I'm like, I'm just trying to work right now. I was like, what is going on? It was shocking, but maybe they all took off work and were part of that.
It's got to be the most taken off day of the year, no?
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I could definitely see it because it happens during the workday.
Yeah.
But yeah. And
Justin took off work for it.
Did he?
Yep. Right, Justin?
Anyway, I'll also add that, how we set it up so Justin could put his other bracket in. That group that I'm telling you about, you can still add brackets in. And he called for a ref. You can still add brackets in. I was thinking about switching to that, like the late night one that I have all 4 Final Four teams, just swapping it out. But I don't think I'm going to do that. That'd be unethical of me. But I thought about it because I'm like, it's like I'm at about the same points, so I don't think anyone would know if I just changed the name. But I'm not going to do that. But also, I was thinking about it. Considering the group, I was thinking about it.
I would do it.
It's $500 to the winner. Like, not bad. But anyway, yeah. All right, that's all I have. You guys got anything?
Justin, we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, we may need a guest sometime.
Yeah.
So we haven't had a guest all season.
Spice things up a little bit.
Justin, want to be a guest?
Also, I was planning on having him come back for NIL draft number 2 after college basketball, but I'm down to have him next week.
A recurring guest.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, he's definitely got to be a recurring guest at this point.
Justin's in.
He's in. All right, perfect.
Tell your agent, contact our agents. We'll get it all.
Fantastic. Yeah. He kind of hit a ricochet shot.
Nope.
From you guys a second ago with the taking off comment, but now it's all ending on positive vibes. So
no, because Justin just dipped Livy up.
Well, we'll see. If you get the 1-1, you can draft her. We'll see. But
washed.
All right. Well, anything else? Otherwise, Sweet 16 coming up this week. Any update on women's basketball right now before we go?
Miami's up 3.
How much time?
Almost the fourth quarter.
Almost the fourth quarter.
I'm not confident about that. We'll see. Hopefully they prevail. That'll be a good game. Next time we meet, we'll see. I think we'll have the Final Fours then set. So go Badgers. They play tomorrow night. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Shout out Nebraska track and field.
All right. Adam, you got any shout outs?
Shout out Justin.
Shout out Justin. I love it. All right. Thank you guys to our 2 live viewers. I wonder if Justin's got 2 tabs open because I can't imagine we have an actual second viewer. But we'll see.
Do you have 2 tabs open?
If not, I mean, it's possible. What am I missing? Am I just getting the comments delayed?
No. Justin sent a picture of Beeve.
Okay. Is that what that's what the connection's going on? Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, everyone.
He sent the picture of you with the Squidward filter on.
All right, we're going to end the podcast. Thanks, guys.